On this particular episode, we sat down with three musicians or musicians in different areas of music to talk about their journey as a transplant coming in from out of state to pursue a career in music. Now, some of them actually didn't come here specifically for music, but that was what they loved and what they were doing already. And they basically talk about how life has been as an aspiring musician in LA, pros and cons, how LA has influenced their musical journey and their style. And they also give advice to those of you out there that are pursuing a career as well and considering moving to LA. So it was a very, very interesting discussion. Really dope to get the point of view and insights from three different people in three different areas of music. And after that, our network just grew that much bigger because we're going to talk about networking as well. Networking is super important when you want to build your career out here as a musician. And we get into all of that stuff and even more.
I'm sure they had good stories.
Oh, definitely. For sure.
Yeah, because I always wanted to kind of imagine the perspective of someone coming to LA for the first time and, seeing what that's like. Because born and raised out here, we're never gonna see it from that perspective.
We'll never be in their shoes.
That first time looking for what it looks like.
It's like, this is what Venice Beach looks like?
Yes.
Crap. This looks like shit.
Don't take that one way and try to think you're going to come back to that street all of a sudden. Take you 15 minutes in LA to get back to where you wanted to go.
Yeah.
Don't think our public transportation is for everybody. Can't take you everywhere.
It ain't like New York.
Nope, at all. So we get into all of that and more in this episode, and it was a very, very dope conversation. I enjoyed myself. So.
Nice. Can't wait.
Yeah, hope everybody out there enjoys this episode. Let us know what you think. I kind of want to make sure all the viewers and listeners know who we're talking to today. So if you guys can just go around, introduce yourselves, say where you're from originally, how long you've been in LA, and what you actually do. So let's start with Lucian.
Okay. My name is Lucian. I'm an artist, producer, singer. I've been in LA 7 years. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and I had a couple of pit stops in between, but we'll get to that.
Okay. Nevada?
Hi, I'm Nevada Tyler, and I am a singer, songwriter, artist, and I am originally from Maryland.
And how long have you been in LA?
I've been in LA since my end of my second year, going into my third year.
Nice. Awesome. Casper?
And I'm Casper J. Coda. I'm an engineer, vocal producer, vocal arranger, songwriter. Was an artist for a little while. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I spent 10 years in Dallas, Texas, and I've been in LA for almost 5 months now, so I'm a baby. I'm fresh.
My goodness.
Yeah, I'm new to the game. I appreciate it.
Welcome to your first spring in LA. My gosh. How do you think of it? What do you think of this weather we're having right now?
It more so reminds me of Ohio-ish.
Oh, really?
Like springtime in Ohio, early summer in Ohio. Yeah,
that gray
it's been a
sky.
Minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for joining me
Absolutely.
and being on this podcast, seen through us. So I want you guys to think back to when you made the decision to move to LA. Did you guys all come here specifically for music, or did you just find yourself here?
For me, it was kind of like I landed here. I was living in Portland. I had got laid off of this job that moved me to Portland, and I got a job here. But for some reason, I don't know. I had gotten a job here, and I was like sitting at home. And the guy was like, "Are you coming to work?" And I was like, "Well, give me a week, and I'll be there." And I just literally got on a plane, booked a hotel. I used my friend's Marriott discount. I was like, "Hey, you need to tell them your family so I can afford this room."
Friends and family discount.
Went to work the first week, found an apartment, flew back to Portland, drove my car, my cat, and we here.
You're a cat dad?
Yeah,
I love cats. I'm a cat mom, so
yeah, you already know.
That's amazing. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're so spontaneous, and I mean, it sounds spontaneous to me. Just picking up and leaving.
I mean, it's like you live somewhere with high rent and you don't have a job. Somewhere where high rent told you have a job. You just need to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, and I was doing music in Houston before I left. But when I moved to Portland, there was no urban music scene whatsoever at the time. So it was very very kind of EDM-ish, very strong Euro pop. Like not a lot of urban artists would come to Portland to perform or at all. So it wouldn't even be clubs to go to listen to music. I'll say that. It was very different. So I had kind of went through a drought and I was like, well, if I go to LA, I know I can do music for sure. So it was kind of like one of those things, a confirmation. And as soon as I got here, things just kind of started lining up where I was able to be used in music in some form or fashion. So
Beautiful. Love it. And 7 years later,
I'm still
here you
here.
are.
I'm still here.
Going it through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nevada, did
crazy.
you move out here specifically for music or did you just found yourself here?
I moved out here specifically for music, but I did try to move to other music cities like Tennessee or Atlanta, but it just turned out that everybody I knew and worked with and was just creating connections with was out here. So it just ended up making sense in the end.
Interesting. And so after 2 years, do you regret that decision at all? Or do you think
No, I like it here a lot, and I didn't think I was going to. I really was like, I'm not moving out to LA. Everybody was like so shocked when I said, okay, I'm moving. And they were like, you said you were never going to go. But I was bamboozled. I like it here. Dare I say love.
there we
But
go.
yeah, here we are.
Sometimes fear can be a motivator, you know?
Yeah.
Not saying that
Yeah,
you were
I mean,
scared, but
I was super comfortable. I think by the end of the time that I was like in Maryland, I was like, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to like know a new place. And it just seemed that I had already created a community out here that it was like, why would I go anywhere else?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We're going to definitely talk about networking in a few, but I want to get Casper's story. So you're here 5 months. So when you moved here 5 months ago,
Yeah.
was it specifically for work?
Speaking of bamboozled, like you said, my story is sort of I was bamboozled into coming to LA. It was never something that I didn't plan on coming here ever. Like it wasn't like a thing that I ever thought I would be able would do. I knew that I wanted to, eventually, have my connections and maybe travel here, but not like actually live here. So I met my girlfriend on Instagram back in 2023 and I moved her to Dallas and she was like, "Nah, I want to go back to LA."
Oh,
Like,
she's
so she
from
was from
LA.
here. No, well, she's not from here, but she lived out here for like 5-6 years. And she's like, "No, I want to go back." So I was like, okay, I'm thinking of my life and I'm putting two and two together. It's like, Casper, you have all these dreams of things that you want to do in the music industry. Like, why wouldn't you think that this is something that you're supposed to do? Like, just do it.
Mhm.
So we just up and moved and came here and, just been trying to figure it out. But it's been a great experience so far.
Awesome. Well, welcome and thank you for choosing LA as your new home. And I hope for all the success for you.
Thank you.
So yeah, let's talk about networking. Networking. So in the age of the internet, right? We can basically make connections everywhere. You met your girlfriend on the internet. You had your network already building when you were in Maryland. So let's talk about that. You had your network already, but Lucian, did you have any people out here, any contacts?
So I moved here. I didn't know nobody.
Wow.
I'm lying. I had a few friends from college, but they were like in the stage where they, you got those friends, like you can talk to them, but then they married, they got kids. It's a different world for them. So like I would go hang out with them, but I'm like, I ain't on y'all level yet. Let me get back to it, So one of the things, I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things that I think, I don't want to say I pride myself on doing this, but a lot of people I know here in LA, and there's no disrespect to nobody who's ever, if you're here and you haven't, done anything, but I just kept running into all these people that were like, I'm an artist, but had no music out. Like none, like, and I'm talking about for years, like 6 years, I'm knowing you didn't have no music out, right? So for me, I was like, it's one thing to say you're an artist, but I know I can make great music. So for me, I spent a lot of time, especially like 2019, 2020 during the pandemic, like honing my craft, like I released my first single like 2021. I recorded it at home during the pandemic. I mixed it myself and I put it out. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to have something, because I feel like as an artist, it's like, what are we without art, right? So I wanted to make sure before I started this networking journey that I wasn't a person that was looked at as like, oh, he an artist, but he don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to have a resume. I didn't have a resume, and that's what I wanted to build. And I'm still building to this day. Like I try to do, try to make sure that I'm being active so that I can build a resume so people can see the work that I do. Because I wasn't necessarily given opportunities. I was given opportunities to come to writing sessions and get paid $300 and then not get any credit. And I was like,
Oh. Mm.
I'm,
Whoa.
yeah. And it's, things like that. And I've, done some demo singing in Atlanta and different things like that, but I've never really had a network. So I've kind of been building it piece by piece, like, meeting different people. When I reached out to you guys here at Track Life, I just was like, okay, I like how they do their stuff. They seem cool. Let me see what they're about. Popped up at a mixer, met you guys, and here I am today. So
Awesome.
Whoa.
Whoa. That's again like just you like up and leaving and coming to LA and only knowing a handful of people and really nobody from the
literally it was
industry.
like two, it was two people.
Right. And it's like, it's so funny because we kind of all know those people that are like, yeah, I sing, I rap, but you don't have anything out. It's kind of like those people that are like, I'm a model. What magazine have you been in? None.
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
And I was so afraid of being being that, because that's the story of so many people here. And it was the first thing I noticed. I was like, it's a lot of fakeness here. Like, not fakeness, but a lot of people who are pretending to be something that they just don't want to do the work to do. And I think that everybody has the potential to
Interesting.
do anything they want to put their mind to it, right?
for sure.
Yeah.
But we got to make sure we're not putting the effort in pretending to be something versus actually becoming something. So
Mm-hmm.
Why is
Got
it so
it.
funny? LA has had that reputation prior to me even moving here. That's what I've heard, several people have said that same thing about LA.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of it's weird. I have a different experience, me being an engineer and vocal producer. I'm being sought after. People are trying to reach
Yeah.
out. People need us. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different experience for us. And you talk about resumes, like by default, we got resumes because we're working with so many different people over the
Right.
course of time. So, just it's interesting to just hear your side of it, being an artist coming into LA and having the experience that you have, given that, it's just like you're fighting for your presence,
Yeah.
in the city. So that's just crazy. Like, I'm gonna think about that.
You know what? I love that we have you here because you are a music engineer and a vocal producer. How has that been like for you? Like you said that, people look for people like you. So to compare your career back home in Texas,
Sorry.
no problem. And then your experience out here in the last 5 months, have you noticed like a surge in people needing your expertise?
You know what's funny? Like when I've communicated with several people prior to me moving to LA, that I'm like, hey, this is about to become a real thing. They've always said to me, like, you realize there's so much work for you there. Like it's so many people that need you. And, Dallas has its own, music community, but like it's nowhere near what it is in LA. And it's not to the extent and the amount of creative artists that you have in LA. So I would always say, people are gonna need you when you go out there. So I was looking forward to that experience, but I thought that I was gonna have to build myself from the ground up the way that I did in Dallas. But it's been a completely different experience. It's like people are like, hitting me up left and right.
Wow.
So it's really been that. But I think to go back to what you were saying, for me in particular, my journey, I have always wanted to be in the creative process and creative space. And so I actually thoroughly enjoy being the engineer and helping to bring, put steroids on artists and what they're doing and, take their idea and bring it to life or maximize the potential of it. So like, that's just really where my heart is at. So I know that with that in my heart, I think it's just going to open all doors for me in LA. Like that's just, if I lead with that and I lead with that, that energy of wanting to just help and give to people, it's just the city is gonna take care of me. That's how I feel.
That's wise.
Yeah.
I love that you mentioned that. I was actually trying to do a little bit of research before today's episode, and there are people that like are on YouTube giving their advice and like their little tidbits of how their experience has been in LA. And someone was like, if you lead with intention, good things will come to you. If you represent yourself with the most positivity, you'll get positivity back.
Yeah.
So I believe in that too. So like, you guys' energy right now is like so positive. But yeah, no, but I truly believe that if you like put yourself out there and you just try to be like I don't know, put your best foot forward all the time.
Yeah,
Like it'll just come to
just
you
be deep in your
easier.
craft, be deep in your joy, be deep in what
Mhm.
what brought you to your craft, music, like that. Okay, I love music. Well, what do I love about it, and what do I want to do? How do I want to express myself? And it's just everything else will just come to you. And like you said, stripping yourself of that. What people try to come out with that, that mask of who I gotta try to be out here instead of being who you are at heart. That's where they go wrong because you're not leading with that love. Create. If you love it, you're gonna create.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
There it is. Now, Nevada, I want to talk about your experience. You and I actually met at a networking event. We met
did.
at like a music panel.
Mhm.
Do you actually seek out these opportunities to like be in the presence of artists that are trying to make it, and like seeing these panels from like experts and stuff? Do you actually like intentionally seek out opportunities and nights like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think my experience is like the complete opposite of what you guys were talking about, where it was like I came in with nothing and like no resume, and it was really just me DMing people, being like, "Hi, I would love to make music, and I have no idea how. Like, what do I need to do?" And basically found a wonderful mentor and a producer named Dilemma, and he actually like I emailed him. He was asking people on an online panel that I was watching, like if they wanted to share songs that they had written, like he would write back and give a review. And I literally sent him voice notes.
Wow.
I was like, I wrote these songs and I don't know if they're any good, but could you let me know if like you like them, you don't like them, like what could I fix, what could I do better? And eventually he was just kind of like, let's get on the phone and I'm going to send you some beats and then let's see what happens from that. So I started as a songwriter then, and like met so many people through him, and he was putting me in sessions, and it was so amazing because he was like, well, the hardest part is getting in the session. And I was like,
Yeah.
how do I do that? And he was like, come with me. So that was amazing. And so, yeah, it's going to be my third year. And now I have a couple of songs that have been released with me as the writer, but I've been working on my artist
But
project.
your work, it still works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still works.
working.
It's
It
building
works.
the resume. But I encountered so many people that have an issue with me building my resume because it didn't exist yet. So they were like, oh, you're not really this, you're not really that, you're not really doing
Wow.
it. And I was like, no. I just got here. Like I just figured this out. I'm trying to do that so
But
that
you
I
were
can give it
doing,
to
you
you.
seem like you were like the fact that you said
Yeah.
you came in and you like were in sessions and you were getting writers credits, like you're actually working
Yeah.
in music, right?
Yeah.
So your resume is kind of like I'm working on a resume, but you're in the internship, right? You're you're
It's
in
just
the
like
door.
it's happening, it's building. I promise, like it's gonna exist. So
Yeah.
as soon as like that first song that came out that had my credit, I was like, someone's gonna believe me. Like
Yeah.
it exists.
Listen, and I'm learning too. So many people, write songs that never get released.
Mm-hmm.
So many
yeah.
people produce songs, engineers, like they never get released.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like one of those things of navigating out here. Like, it is. Personally, I don't care what nobody resume is. If you're good, you're
Mhm.
good. Like, I want to work with you no matter who you are. But I thought it was interesting you said that about the online thing because I have some horror stories about that.
Oh, please share.
Oh God.
So
We're here for this.
I was really trying to go that route. The online thing. So I was hitting up producers. I'm not saying no names that are couple of well-known producers. One specific, I'll say, was on a podcast talking about how they were looking for new artists and writers and producers. So they was like, hit me up. So, okay, cool. I hit them up. They were like, yeah, For $2,500, I give you access to all my contacts. Like everything has been a money pool when it has come to, like, for me. Like I've noticed that people have always tried to go this money route where it's like I don't mind paying people for their services because I go to work like everybody else every day, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be taking, like, I'm not no fool. I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
sending money blindly over DMs to you. And at one point I thought the account was hacked, but it wasn't because I saw the ad with the same stuff on it later. So
Wow.
it's a
Yeah.
lot of people out here that that have tried to take advantage to a certain extent. Oh, I'll help you out, but you have to pay me a consulting fee and da 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 da
Yeah.
da. And it's like, I don't need new bills. Like, you're
Right.
already in LA.
Right.
No, I mean, well, to answer actually your question where we started, but no, it relates. Going to these networking events is so amazing because I think the way that I was doing it was because it was the pandemic. So everything was online.
Mhm.
But they were just facilitating these in-person networking events online. So it was like through various organizations that were happening at the time. And then it was like I was living in Maryland, and I was like, there's not a ton of music events that are like networking events that I knew of at the time. I think there was like one that I ended up finding, and I went, and it was great. And I ended up meeting the artist that was one of the artists that was being featured there, and I was just like, I think we're gonna be friends. And then I DM'd him. I'm a shameless, I guess, DMer. And we ended up like going out for drinks and connecting, and that's been such a blessing to meet people and just get to know people, and then they want to introduce you to other people. Or like I think that's how I ended up at the networking event where I met you, is through a friend who DM'd me or texted me like the link to the event. It was like, hey,
Same.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just like end up in places because
Yeah.
someone's like, you should be there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
I
I'll
think
go.
it's important to take, speaking of networking, I just think in LA it's important to take advantage of those kinds of opportunities, because I think what people miss is like when you put yourself in the space of other creatives, it doesn't matter what the status is of anybody. Magic can happen because we all have to start from somewhere, and then you put yourself in a position to where you can connect with like-minded people. Like I said, when you leave with your heart, you're gonna always find your tribe. You're gonna attract the types of people that are meant to be in your life and meant to be a part of your journey and your path. So like it's important to take those opportunities and not necessarily weigh. I think sometimes people may get out here in LA or places like New York or wherever, and they think that the only way I'm going to be successful is if I meet this person or this person. And I don't believe in that, because like I said, your journey is your journey, and the people that are going to be brought to you are going to be an essential part of your journey, and you don't know how. So you have to always put yourself in a position to where you're taking full like you diving into the opportunities to be in the spaces that you're going to attract those people. So networking events and things like that, no matter who's in the room, be there, because you never know.
Yeah.
We hope you're enjoying the episode. We're going to take a little time to talk about Track Life Music Society.
The Track Life Music Society is a music community for artists, creatives, and music professionals looking to connect, build their resources, find opportunities, and all the things that elevate your music career. If that's you, then you'll want to tap in.
Being a member is 100% free. You'll just need to upload a link that proves your involvement in music during the registration process. To find more information and to sign up, go ahead and check out tracklife.com. Now, back to the episode.
But in meeting so many people that are trying to be successful like you guys, how do you distinguish who's really there like for the love of it and who wants to work with you for the love of it versus who wants to take advantage of you? Like the red flag was there right away. Like give me $2,500 and I'll
It was like
help
the second
you.
DM. It wasn't even like no warming up or nothing. I'm like, okay. For me, it's, I think that if people lead with money before listening to your music, that's a definite red flag.
Yeah.
I've even on the performance scene, there have been places that have reached out or like have seen me on Instagram, and I've done a couple events where it's like, oh, we want you to perform. It's not, you don't have to pay, but you have to sell these tickets. And I get like part of the ticket sales, and you want to encourage the artists to do marketing and all of those things, but I do feel that sometimes like the way that the approach of some of these things are very discouraging. Like I mean, like literally, like you prepare for a show and like, yeah, you only have 25 tickets sold. You need to get online right now. Like I'm in rehearsal for my show. Like, what are you doing? Like, so I've had some real shaky experiences out here, but I've never like let it stop me from what I feel like I was, born to do.
Yeah.
I feel like I was given a gift. I'm not waking up out my sleep to write songs because like God ain't giving it to me just to be getting up out my sleep and keeping it on my computer, right? So that's kind of, where it is. I mean, I like going out, meeting different people. but I don't never really sometimes get the connection that you guys got some great stories. Like, I'm like, damn, that's good. Like, I wish my shit was like that. Nah, like I've yeah. So I just keep going. That's at the end of the day, I feel like, I keep going. I work on perfecting my craft. You know what I'm saying? I know that, I'm notorious about, I record a song and get to the mix and be like, I could have did that better. Let me go back and let me go back in. Or I'll make a beat and we go all the way to the mix. I got masters on my phone where I've said, okay, I want to change the kick beat and I'm gonna change this and change that, and went back and changed it. But I feel like I kind of feel like it's like a painter almost. Like, you know how they sometimes be at home and nobody hear from them and they just be in there doing all this stuff and they're like, it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. And then,
Man.
but I've got to get to the point where, when it feels good for me, that's when it's ready, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I kind of have to stop measuring my success based on other people's statuses, who they know, how they feel about my music, because my music may be moody music. It may be something you only want to hear when you sad. You don't want to hear when
That's
you turning
okay.
up, you know? But it's kind of like, even with meeting people, it's just making sure that the timing is right, because timing is everything. Your first interaction with somebody could be horrible, and then, 2 weeks later you have a different interaction, they change your whole life. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
that's
it.
real. Definitely.
Nah, that's definitely real, because I feel like what you were saying about going, like, picking apart your craft, like just going like, "Oh, it's not ready yet." It's not. I've been there too with my music, and a lot of my songs not released at all because I did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that goes back into the community aspect of it, because like you said, you did the mix, and then you know what I'm saying, you worked on so many parts of it. Like, I would make the beat, write the song, record the song, try to work on the mix.
This was somebody else mixing.
And then, this somebody else mixing?
I done paid them to mix it.
Oh, and you still
And
going
I'm on
back.
revision 4. I done went back and paid them to mix it again.
No.
Wow. So you're like overthinking it. You're saying you're overthinking it, or?
Perfectionism a little
Or was
bit.
it like your heart said, this isn't right?
So I have an ear. I'm not. I think I have a very good ear for music. So like I've been, as a kid, like I used to direct choirs and stuff and play the piano at church and teach people like notes and singing since I was like 12, 13, and these were like adults. And I would go to different churches. They would hire me to do this like actual job, get paid really good to do it. But if something annoys me in a song, if it's just like one little thing, I feel like it's gonna annoy other people.
Wow.
And it could just be like a hi-hat sometime. But most of the time I'm kind of like, I'm not saying I'm right about it, but it's, for example, I remember one song that I might play for you guys if they let us later. It was a hi-hat, and the timbre of the hi-hat was very close to the tone of my voice. So whenever it came in, it was like this. It was like it was
clash.
Fighting each
it was
other.
it was fighting each other.
Yeah.
And I had to go back in the track, change the hi-hat while I was in the mastering, send it to the mixing engineer, plug it in his mix, and he sent it to the mastering engineer to fix it, because some stuff don't come out to the master.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Wow.
true.
Yeah.
The whole science behind music and
It's
the highs and the lows and the mids, and not trying to like
It's crazy.
compete, like instruments compete with your voices. It's nuts when you break it down. But the fact that you guys are in it, so you know what goes into the music, and you guys like, I don't know if you read music or not, but as like just a consumer, I probably wouldn't have even noticed that being an issue. Like the whole like hi-hat in your voice, like being on the same level. I probably would have been like, this is amazing.
But you know what? Consumers, and I'm not gonna say consumers, but most people who don't know about music, people don't understand that a mix will make the difference between a hit
Absolutely.
and a flop. It's like the mix is the experience that the person gets when they hear the song. It's the way, it has to do with the feeling. It has to do with the way, like each part of the song, like your favorite song is your favorite song because you know how you have those little weird parts of the song you say, you be like, whatever, a little ad lib or something.
Yeah, that makes the
and
song.
you don't know why you like it, but the mixing engineer knew exactly where to place it, where it wasn't too loud or it wasn't too high, and it just felt right, you know? So that's a lot. I mean, the mixing is a big thing that people don't even like really think about. It's a lot of talented artists, and big artists, I feel like if their albums were mixed better, they would still be around today because they have some dope music. But no, seriously, like even on major labels, like you hear it, you like, And
Yeah.
you play like a number one song, and then you play like a song that's good, but not a number one, and you hear levels. You hear the difference. So like some things are louder than others, and you're like, oh, this is the science of this.
He's definitely right. And I think a lot of times too, sometimes we can tend to overthink it too much at the same time as well. Because I think when you study the imperfections just as much as the perfections, then you will start to realize how sometimes the mistakes work just as much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like when it comes to quality, you dead on when it comes to quality. Don't mess that part
No,
of it
you're
up.
right though about mistakes.
But all of the little things that go into, because I'll have artists that'll be like, I don't know, turn that, I don't like this part no more. I'm like, no, just keep it.
Yeah.
Trust me. You didn't do it the way that you thought you wanted to do it, but it came out perfectly. I actually feel something because the feeling is in there. So like that's what I meant when I say communities. It's like you need that guidance. You need the people around you to be like, nah, bro, keep that. That's it. That's
You're right. Because
keep people around you that you feel like can help to tune, help you out and tune you. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we can be our own biggest. Like, when I was in my room by myself. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to when I was around people, it'd be like, hey, try this, or like, nah, keep that, Casper. Like, do that. It built better. So like sometimes it's good to have people around you that's in that space with you that can help you, you know what I'm saying, build and like, factory. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Kind of temper down the criticism a little bit.
Yeah, because we get in our heads.
You're right. I mean, coming from a church background, everything has been about on key, and everything on key don't feel good. It doesn't. No, like it's certain songs. Like if you think about Anderson .Paak, is just, if you musically, he's singing sometimes where he's singing, talking, he's not on key, but you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, you don't want it to be robotic.
Right.
Spot on.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard for me to really genuinely connect with a lot of the music that's out today because it's so tuned.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back and listen to 90s, 80s, like even R&B, it's out of they're not on the key, which the pitch correction and the auto tune makes you be. They're like, bending notes and sliding up and down, and you got the mistakes, like I said, that you didn't really want to sing it like that, but it came out like that, but the feeling is there, so it has to stay where it is. It's like that music today is missing that to me.
Wow.
So, no, you spot on when you say that.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting. Well, Nevada, you're actually a songwriter. So talking about being part of a team in the creative process, when you're writing a song for someone, are you actually there like in the studio listening to them sing, and are you like coaching them, or are you there to give some insight on different like creative choices that they might have? And have you ever disagreed and just, no one listened to you?
Yeah, well, it's like you kind of do everything. You're starting from wherever you're getting the song, right? Sometimes it's been worked on, sometimes you're starting from scratch. So that is always interesting. I guess you're coaching on how they're singing it, you're giving ideas, but you want to make sure that everything you're suggesting resonates with the artist, right? Like you have to feel out that person and whether or not, one, they're open to suggestions. Some people don't really love that. Like you might be there for support, but maybe you're there to do a lot of the heavy lifting and they're gonna like really just add their sauce to it in the end. You don't really know what you're gonna get, but you have to be adaptive to the situation that you're put in. So it's different every single time, like depending on the artist. Like if I know this person, if I've worked with this person, if I have a rapport with them, then I know where I can jump in, chime in, like what I can suggest, or if it's melody, if it's, lyrics, whatever. I'm very grateful that most of the people that I work with are very open towards suggestions and trying new things. Like they want to hear you out. They trust that you're there for a reason. So I'm very lucky in that respect. There's been songs that I've written with friends that weren't for specific artists that is interesting and different because it's kind of left up to like the producers and the songwriters and whoever is singing the demo. So that's just kind of like almost like a blank canvas because it's like you almost want it to be able to go in different directions. So that's
make it a flexible type of
song. It's kind of fun and you're more free with that. But writing for someone, like when you're in the room with them and everything is cool because like they leave like their stamp on it, it's like it has a feeling of that day and what was going on. And there are disagreements sometimes, but I think again, everyone I've worked with is like willing to try an idea and then be like, that didn't pan out. And I think everyone I've worked with, like, if I suggest something and then I'm like, that wasn't great. Sorry, let's go on to the next thing. Or if there's something that I'm like, no, guys, like, I think we should do it. But I'm like, if not everyone's on the same page, like, I'm going to let it go. Like, I'll advocate for it maybe like 2-3 times. But if it didn't take by the third, I'm like, I got to let it go. It's not for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can imagine like some people, like the Erykah Badu famously said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. So you could have easily been like, you know what, this is my song. This is, you know, how it's supposed to be sung. But I love that you're in it for the creative process and that you're not trying to, you know, pin down like your initial idea of that song when you first wrote it, and you're open to like letting it become something different.
Yeah.
So let's talk about being sensitive about our shit. Okay. I want you guys to tell me maybe a moment where you felt like you didn't get the reception that you might have felt like you deserved, maybe during a gig, a job, a performance. Do you feel like you were kind of unfairly, I don't know, like the crowd wasn't feeling you? I know it's LA, you know, and it's kind of a mixed bag of audiences I can possibly perform to, or like a client, you know. So do you have any like standout memories of like a time where you were like, I killed my shit, but my audience was just not feeling me for some odd reason? Like, you know.
I know I'm not being cocky. I'm gonna tell y'all no.
Nice.
I grew up in the South. I played at
Okay.
a lot of old school Baptist churches. I was a kid telling adults what to do. I'm used to people not telling me or not identifying with me musically at times. So over time, I've kind of learned to perform for the audience to a certain extent. Like, stay true to yourself, but like you have to learn how to kind of like talk to your audience. Like, you have to like control the room when you get on stage. You have to command attention, have conversations back, talk about the song. So I kind of like done that before I got here. I have had people do that with my music now, but I've played my music at parties and people have been like, I ain't feeling that shit, and turn my shit off. Like, you know, it didn't make me feel any kind of way. I mean, and because I'm involved in so many pieces of it, I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know if it's, did you not like the melody because I wrote that? You didn't like the bass because I produced that? Did you not like this? So for me, the sensitivity is kind of like creative. I think it's constructive criticism for me. Like, I listen to it and it's like, okay. I've used like a Groover service where I've submitted my songs for review and they don't identify with everybody. And that's a big lesson as an artist. You learn, it's like, that's why you have a audience. That's why you have a brand. That's why you have who you're marketing to, because your music, it can be for everybody, but you can't expect love from everywhere.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's my little lesson, I guess, with playing music, I guess.
There we go. Yeah, because I mean, you never know what to expect. You can't be for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
You can't make music for everyone. You can't, you know, expect your specific brand of sound or flavor to work for everyone. So that's good that you have that in mind, because, I mean, I figure, I mean, I'm not an artist myself, but, you know, I used to do art. I used to draw and paint. And when people would kind of look at my stuff and just be like, I'd be like, oh my God, I put in so many hours in that drawing. And you just looked at it like it was like fucking a stick figure. You know what I mean? So I always wanted to like get into the minds of like musicians, like to see like how they feel about, you know, maybe not hitting a chord with a certain type of audience or people. So I'm glad that you have that like type of mindset. Cool. Do you have any stories that, you know, might fall in line with like people like just kind of like, what are you doing? Like, what is that? What did you just make? What you know, what did you just write?
I feel like I am very grateful and lucky that I've found people that are very supportive of whatever I'm doing, even if it's like not their thing or their type of music, or they're not even in music. Like, they're like, that's super cool. Like, maybe you could do this with it. And like, they'll like give their general opinion on whatever it is. And like, maybe it's like something completely different. And I just have to be like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, love that. I love that, like, it inspired you at least to, like, say something back. But if it doesn't resonate with me and what I'm trying to do, like, that's okay. And I have to be okay with that. I think I haven't done a whole bunch of shows, but I feel like going into anything, you just have to be open and, like, you're there for the music and connecting with the people in the room, and that's what they're there for too. So I think as long as you're in that mindset, then it's, you know, things are gonna happen. Like, and I think all you can hope for is just like a beautiful experience. So that's what I'm putting out there. But I think in the studio it's also different because then there's days where people aren't feeling their best, and like whether it's me or it's somebody else, that's different. And then maybe they don't want to get along with people that day. That's always interesting. But I would just say, like, I think those were the only times where I was just like, the energy is wrong in this room. And if I'm not in control of that, there is not a lot that I can do but get through the session.
Yeah.
And what is going to happen after that is, you know, I don't know. You learn your lessons and then you take that and you move on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have
I
you ever
think
had a
for me-
client?
Yeah, well, I've had okay. So I moved to Dallas, and it was a sort of in the peak of my like artist, like as being a singing artist career. And I moved here, and I was trying to figure. I'm sorry, not here, but Dallas. I was trying to figure it all out. I spent a lot of time, like I said, in my room alone, doing all this music. And then I finally started kind of sort of stepping out a little bit more. And then I met some people who had a studio, and they were like, yeah, come on by. And we're all in the room, and I play it, and the owner just gets up and walks out in the middle of it. Like, and then all this critiquing came. It's like, yeah, it's like, it's cool, but it's not, da, da, da. So I was just like, oh, damn. And it was kind of really the end of me being an artist. It's kind of messed up, but it was for a purpose to help me transition into doing what I'm doing now, which I feel more fulfilled doing. However, I will say this. I think for me in particular, mentally, I've always just read people since I was a kid. And so like when you understand the psychology of people, then it helps you to not take things too personal because you're really only going to appeal to someone who it feels like they can understand you, right? So for example, when we're making songs for other creatives to hear, they're hearing things differently than your average listener, right?
Yes.
And then sometimes your average listener, if you realize that with the way the world works today, a lot of people only like something because other people like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just really, but it's just understanding who you're dealing with, who you're in the room with, or who you're trying to appeal to. And once you understand that psychologically, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, that wasn't for you. Got up and walked out because, I spent several more years around you, and I realized, oh, you don't really understand music. Like, not to shame, but you don't understand music really. Like, and you only seem to go after the people that appeal to, like, oh, I'm attracted to this person and I think they're dope because they have a following and they have this or have that, and you don't understand how to see what the potential of something is. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's important to really only take things with a grain of salt.
So,
like when you're dealing with certain people, it's like,
that's why I love Texas.
Yeah.
Even
Texas is
okay. Let me say this. I've been singing for a while, but I've had like maybe 2 times where it's like smaller local record companies in my 18s, 1920s tried to sign me as an artist. And I say this from a production standpoint, I say this from a songwriting standpoint. There are so many people in positions of power, like you said, who don't have an identity about music, who know nothing about music. They just know what's popular. And I think it is so insulting to tell an artist, you should make songs like this. You should sing like this. Why don't you sing about this? So I would do shows in Texas, and the type of music I was doing, I would say a little bit more progressive, like K-Tronada-ish meets R&B, Pharrell-ish type of stuff, right? most of the people in Texas don't listen to that. They don't know who K Tronada is. It's like, you know what I'm saying? They only know Pharrell for the songs he produced for this rapper and this rapper.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
you said it is like, it goes back to like understanding, like, yes, everybody wants to have the Beyonce, Michael Jackson audience, right? We want everybody to love our music, but everybody didn't always like Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody didn't always like Michael Jackson either, right? So being okay with those grassroots and just saying, you know, focusing on the people, like you said, who do love, who do support what you're doing, that's what keeps you going, because you can't stay places where you're not being appreciated. If not, I mean, it almost killed my gift to a certain extent. That's why I was like, I moved to Portland and then I just ended up in LA, and I was like, I went to a couple of songwriter showcases and played and met people, but it wasn't, it's still like, for me, it was very refreshing to be here because the energy is different. And that's one thing I can say about LA. Like, the creative energy here is not like anywhere else. Maybe New York has a little bit of a competition with you guys, but creatively, you guys got it on lock. It's diversity wise, it's on lock.
Absolutely.
Like, it's one of the most diverse creative places I've ever lived. So
Yes, very open.
yeah.
Like
Very.
welcoming to like
Yeah.
people showing their music and just putting themselves out there. I think it's like, I don't know, it's scary to do that. And like when you do it, you don't think about it because you're like, I'm here, I'm gonna do this, so I'm gonna put myself out there. But it's interesting hearing from other people where they're like, you're really, you know, you're showing up for yourself. And it's an interesting thing to remind yourself of. And like, you want to do that with your music too. Like, you want to protect it and make sure that, you know, you took care of it, you made it the way you wanted to make it. And like, as long as you do that, you're good with you and you're good with the product that you made.
Right.
Yeah, and also I
Awesome.
think, like I said, I think when you lead from that perspective of judging your art based on who likes it and the status of who likes it, it would always die,
Mm-hmm.
because then you're placing your own worth and what you do creatively on other people. And like I said, like when you leave from a particular place inwardly, you can have so much more access to so many different emotions and feelings and so many, you know what I'm saying, so many different pathways, because you're opening yourself up to all these different things that can flow your way, instead of closing yourself off to this person or that person, or I want the attention of this or that. And it's like, you can't, because what if your journey is for these people over here, or for this group, or for this entity? Like, you don't know that, so you have to just let it go. Like, you know, say, open yourself up and just let it flow.
It's crazy you say that, because I have a friend that talks like that, and I'm like, do you know who the executive vice president of Sony Music is? No. I say, well, if this person wanted to sign you because you like their music, and then this person wanted to sign you, you probably would still sign with this person, because you're so focused on this that a bigger blessing could be coming. Not saying that would be a blessing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many untapped things that we don't even know about. You come here looking for one person and you meet somebody who's their boss's boss's boss. And it's like, oh wow, I didn't even know you existed. And you can really change my life.
Yeah.
They, you know what I'm saying? They may be a doorway. So I agree. That's dope that you said it like that.
It's like it is about who you know at the end of the day, because like, you know, who you met was able to open doors for you and, you know, present opportunities for you. So it's definitely about who you know. But at the same time, I think, like I said, we get so fixated on who and what their status is, that you don't even know that who you needed to know is this person that you've been ignoring. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things I love about LA so far, is that it really like drives people into a more, if you're open to it, because some people are not, but it drives you into a more authentic version of yourself, because you feel like you're so free to be more of who you are and exist, as in, for example, being in Texas, to where you're trying to see where you fit, right? Because it's only so many pockets. But in LA, it's like, it's freedom. It's a lot of freedom, and it's wide open for you. So it's just so much more to explore. And then within exploring the world of LA, you're exploring yourself, and it's just like it can change. It just can help you evolve and change into who you want to be, and to achieve all your dreams. So LA has won my heart from that perspective already.
Casper, we need to give you your own podcast because you're dropping gems.
right?
For real.
It's that Gemini in me.
yeah, Gemini
I
too.
love Gemini.
Yeah.
Are you a
Yeah,
Gemini?
Yes.
What's your
Gemini.
sign?
I'm a
June
Scorpio.
fifth.
You're a Scorpio?
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Very
Sagittarius.
nice.
So
Okay.
good.
Then.
In the wintertime.
Yes.
Okay.
No, but I love it. And, you know, the way that you're talking about how LA kind of opens you up and you have all of these different avenues to explore, different sounds that you can dabble in. I want to ask, like, you two as artists and songwriters, has LA influenced your sound at all? Do you see any differences now with the songs that you write and do versus when you were back home?
Yes. I'm not gonna say LA influences my sound. I'm not gonna discredit it for not, but I'm not gonna say that it influences my sound. I'll say that LA has made me aware of more artists. So I'm exposed to so much more. So now my sound is evolved. Not all of those artists are from LA. That's why I want to say that LA made the sound. But by me being here, I've met or even like got a chance to experience so many different artists that I would have never, known back in Texas. So I'm steady telling my friends, you heard of this person and you heard of this person. So by me hearing those things, or, sometimes I hear stuff and it's like, you know what, I was thinking about doing a song similar to this, but I was scared. But this person did it. It kind of, like she said, it releases that fear. You take all of that criticism of art. I think that's what it is. It's like we criticize ourselves as human beings every day. That when I came here, it was like, okay, people here are critical. People here are superficial. People, it's everywhere. But art is allowed to be free here.
It's
Love
always
that.
gonna find somebody gonna. It's you have an audience
Yeah.
for everything out here.
Yeah.
The
That
people
is
gonna
so
find you
true.
and they're gonna show up and support some
Yeah.
more. It's a lot more support here.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot more support here.
But then it is and it's not. And I'll say that too. Because it's so many artists and there's so many things going on sometimes. It seems like, because I've been to a lot of, for example, artist showcases or live music, right? In some places, if there's live music, it's packed just because it's live music. Here, not necessarily, right? You can go to a lot of venues that have
Yeah.
people playing and it's 5 people in the audience. I've done shows with 25, 15 people in there, in and out. I get that. But I don't look at the venue size. I just look at the experience that the people are having. So I just want to make sure they enjoy themselves, because them 15 people could be 15 people that can change my life versus worried about 100 that just want to dance and want to party or not even listening, right? So,
Very
Yeah.
true.
Totally. I'm gonna say that LA has so far. I think I'm rather specific in my sound and in the way that I write music. I've been told it's very specific. So I don't think it's changed. I'm also, I don't know, I haven't been here long enough, I think, for it to have made that kind of lasting impact. I think I would agree that artists I discover can have the potential to change. But I'm kind of like looking back through like the history of like me writing songs. I'm like, it all exists in the same realm. So I think that's just like, if it's coming out, like it's happening in that way. But I will say that I think LA has changed the way that I show up as a creative, as like a songwriter, as an artist, like how I want to show myself, like how kind of like, I believe it was, you were talking about authenticity, like the longer that you are here, the more people you meet, like authentic, non-authentic, like it'll teach you something about yourself and how you want to show up as yourself. And it's cool seeing artists who are so confident in who they are and what they make, that it's like you could tell them they didn't like it and they'd be like, okay, cool, I don't really care. And that's nice.
Yeah.
To be able to be like, maybe it wasn't a great day, but I can go home feeling like I was myself. I did what I came to do. I showed up, with grace, with honor, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I can be at peace at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
I did what I
Wonderful.
came to do.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you said it. It teaches you how to be more confident in your authenticity. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
exactly. And in the 5 months that I've been here, that I
Yeah.
felt.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm 37, so I'm kind of have the experiences to where it's like I know certain things already, but being here has definitely like driven home a lot of points for me. Like, this is a more of an opportunity for you to dive even deeper into yourself and to express it without so much control and politics. And like, not saying that it doesn't exist here, but if if you are leading, like I said, because this is very important, y'all. When you lead from your heart, your soul, and that's where you're traveling from, then you will sprout and you will fly.
Yeah.
Because there is no other way. We are our own. We hold ourselves captive. We are our own captors, and we are our own prisoners. So, like, once you release that, you release yourself, and then you realize that a lot of times we blame it on other people, but when you realize it's really you, and you have no one to blame. Like if you see that, then you'll start holding yourself accountable. You start like you said, showing up in your fullness, no matter what, in your own confidence, because what they say, Delulu is the Salulu. So when you have that, and you have, what I'm saying, you got that vision, can't nobody tell you nothing.
Yeah. And if you are feeling lost, I can see how this city can really eat you up.
Yeah.
But as long as you just keep reminding yourself of who you are, what you find important, like what you want to do with your creative talents, then you're good.
I also say, one of my little sayings I tell myself all the time, look, life is gonna life. Life is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Regardless if you make the music or if you don't make the music.
Facts.
So you might as well make the music.
Right.
You can have something to listen to while your life is happening.
Yo,
Exactly.
At the end of the day, they're going in, and it's up
Still gonna
to you
happen.
to be happy, fully happy with the person that you end the day with.
Yeah.
Like that's it. The day's gonna, like you said, day's gonna come. Day's gonna come. They're gonna end. Who are you? Who are you genuinely happy with yourself you genuinely happy with everything and the decisions that you made, the opportunities that you take? You're happy with that, because we all have chances that we didn't take, right?
Yeah.
And how did it make you feel? You had to sleep with that at night. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, waves gonna come, ups and downs, as long as you doing what you want to do, and like you said, reminding yourself of who you are, why you're here, what your purpose is, and you know that.
Yeah.
It's
be
on.
straight.
It's on. You be straight.
And
You know what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say one more thing too, because you guys were talking about it and it came to my mind. One thing that LA has taught me, being an artist in LA has taught me, is you're only gonna get out what you put in. And it's not about talent. It's not about how good your music sounds. Like she said, it's about leading from your heart, but it's also about the work too. Because like I get on myself about certain behaviors, because as an artist, you have to kind of to a certain extent separate yourself from people that are not artists, because you don't have the lead, especially if you're working and you're pursuing the craft, or you got a lot of other gigs going on and you're trying to do your own music. One thing we can't create is time. So you have to allow yourself the time to work on stuff, right? So like, because I know I can do it and it comes easy and it comes naturally, it's easy for me to say, oh, I'll get to that later. Let me do this because I want to go hang with my friends, or let me go have drinks, and let me go do this stuff. And time's passing and nothing's done because you haven't had that dedication in yourself to spend that time with your craft. It doesn't mean that you have to write a song every day, but it may be making sure that you sing one of your songs every day or play your song every day, twice. Like, we got to be our biggest fans. Like, if we're not playing our own music, why do we expect other people to do it?
Facts.
Wow.
Like, are we
That's
posting
true.
our own music? We released a single 6 months ago, but are you still promoting it? Like, I'm not Beyonce. Like, I can't release stuff. It's not going to sell out tomorrow. Like, I got to...
It's like you have to like it.
Gotta work.
Yeah, and then you have to
Right.
also not be so disappointed because it didn't get instant success. Like, I think Money Long, this happened to a couple of artists that have released songs and they went viral 2-3 years later.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens like that.
So it's
Yep.
kind of like, just sow the seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It
Put it
can't
out
grow
there.
inside your computer, but if you put it on the ground, it can.
Right,
Yeah, that's very
Exactly.
true. That's very true. You
I
might have me
love
go
that.
ahead and just put songs out that
Go
I
ahead,
made
just
10
throw
years
them
ago.
in
Why?
the
Put
EP.
As
it
you
out.
should.
Why
Come on
not?
now.
Put it out.
Definitely. I mean, I love that we are like just expressing, our truths here and like what is working for us. And I love how, I think it's true. If you show up as your true, authentic self, you can have no regrets at the end of the day, because you were yourself. You weren't trying to be like anybody else. You weren't trying to follow any other person's path. Because once you do that and it doesn't work out, you're gonna be like, damn, why did I do that? I should have just stayed true to
Been
myself.
myself.
You should have just been myself.
Yep.
Man,
Yeah.
I love this.
You have,
Where
you have
have
more chance being successful being yourself than anybody else.
There it is.
Yeah.
And then if you are only yourself and you only put yourself out there, that consistency will pay off. You know,
Boom.
I would imagine so. And like everything we're saying here can be applied to any other craft, any
Yeah.
other like
Yup.
any other like area in life, I think.
Yep.
So this is
Facts.
awesome. I feel like I'm coming away with some
This is
stuff
some
here, you
empowering
know?
conversation.
Yeah,
Like, this
yeah.
is,
It's
this is some good
calming.
stuff.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people that are going to listen and watch this podcast are going to be like, yes, I needed to hear that. Like to have this conversation from the perspective of y'all three. I think a lot of people out there that are trying to make it in the industry that might have a little bit of discouragement or might have a little bit of doubt might be like, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna stay true to myself. I'm gonna love what I do. I'm gonna listen to others, but then I'm gonna follow my heart and just, you know, all this. I'm gonna put myself out there, make friends, DM without any shame. You know what I'm saying? You
that's
know,
what I gotta work on.
not take anything personal
Yeah.
or too personal, and then, you know, just like following how you feel in your heart about your craft. I think someone out there is going to be like, I needed this podcast, and they're going to follow y'all
Yeah.
and gonna give you guys so much love and a lot of likes. But before we wrap this up, I want you guys to give one piece of advice to anyone out there that's thinking of moving to LA to pursue a music career. Whoever wants to start first. It could be something as
I'll
small
let
as,
them go
you know,
first.
yeah.
I'll let y'all talk about the music. I'm going to chime in a little bit about the life.
Oh, okay, yes.
Ooh, okay. All right. I feel like I just got looked at like, go ahead.
Spotlight.
I'm going to say my advice would be if you are moving out here that you know, like, you're cool with whatever's going to happen as long as, yeah, you're leading with who you want to be, what you want to make, the kind of life you want to lead. I think that, like, a wonderful piece of advice that I was given before is basically do what you love and you'll go where you need to go. And I have followed that for years, and I think it has led me here. So basically, it's like if you lead with your heart and you're who you want to be, you're good to people, and you just keep forward on the path that you want to go on, you're going to get where you want to go. But you do have to be so true to who you are and who you've always been and who you want to become.
Absolutely.
And I think without that, you'll get lost, and you're going to get lost anyways. But as long as, like, you know who you are, like, you'll find your guiding light and
that
find where you're supposed to be.
that
True.
absolutely. Yeah, that's really my message. That would be my advice as well. I mean, like I said, only been here 5 months. So I'm new and I'm still learning a lot and I'm still finding my way. But like you said, that guiding light is always there for me. It has not steered me wrong to this point, and I don't believe that it ever will steer me in the wrong direction. And my philosophy, from my standpoint, I believe in giving. So as long as you are putting yourself in the giving spirit, things are going to feed back and, like, you know, come back to you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that's really the, aside from what she was saying, leading with the heart, but being in that giving spirit and understanding that the sacrifices that you may need to make in order to get to where you want to go, and being open-hearted with that, and being, and, you know, understanding that the more that you put out, like you said, the more that you get back, whether it's giving to yourself or giving to others. You just have to be in a state of giving. Otherwise, what are you putting yourself in a position to receive? So that's my advice.
I agree with everything they said. And honestly, to piggyback off of what you said, I think that it's important. I think we'll never truly, I guess, you know, everybody says, I know myself, know yourself fully, but have an idea who you are before you get here. You may not know who you're going to be, but just have an idea. Like you said, be intentional about being here. Don't let the rent prices fool you. Like when I say that, meaning like the rent is high, but so are the opportunities, right?
Yeah.
So you can stay where you are. You can pay $700 rent and you can live in that box, but you're not going to be able to sleep at night because those dreams are not. And not saying that, you know, somebody might not come to your hometown, but those days are kind of long and gone, right? So just be open, you know what I'm saying, to whatever God or whatever the universe has for you. Just making sure that you're open to it and we're not so in our own way by focusing on things that we want. And these are temporal wants that you see at this moment because you only want that because you don't know better, right? You don't know, what's down the line for you. So just being open and sticking with it. Like, don't give up. I've had a lot of people that have left here. I've a lot of people that I knew when I first moved here are not here anymore. Various reasons, but a lot of them, kind of, to be honest with you, kind of gave up. Like they said, they were just tired of doing this, and not to full circle to the first thing I was talking about. I know a lot of people who left because they said LA wasn't working out, but they really weren't working for themselves. So like, you have to have, don't come here and think that you just because you showed up and you're talented that Jimmy Iovine ain't gonna be at the door with a deal and tell you, come on, sign up, here's $1 million, you're the new Mariah. It's not gonna happen like that. It's not gonna happen that way. So like, that's the biggest misconception, that you're gonna show up and it's gonna pop off. Yeah. Those are storylines. So like, just stick with it. If it's true to you, be true to it and it'll be true to you. That's it.
Wonderful. I love it. And one last thing before we wrap up, I want to make sure you guys put out anything that you're releasing soon, how people can find your music, how they can follow you on socials, how they can acquire you for some services, So let's go ahead and go around the room and give your handles and where they can find you.
You can find me on IG at Casper J Coda, Casper with a C, CasperJCoda. So what was the other thing you wanted us to talk about?
If they need a mixer. If
that. If you're an artist and you're looking to find your identity, find your sound, I work really, really great with people who are just trying to get into more of a serious tone in their art and take their ideas to another level. I definitely enjoy assisting with that. And it's something that I find extremely pleasurable because I love to see the result, and I love to feel the energy of the artist on the other end, being happy about where they're going and where they're headed. I just enjoy being a part of people's journey. So if that's you, definitely hit me up. Like I say, Casper J Coda on my handles, and yeah.
Nice. Nevada?
I would say probably Instagram is the best place to find me. So my handle is my name, Nevada Tyler. And yeah, I feel like if you resonate with me, feel free to reach out. I'm a yapper, so I'm down to chat.
There we go.
Sure.
But yeah, that's the best place to find me. And I'm hoping to be releasing some music within the next couple months. So
Your own music? Or?
Yes, my own music.
Okay,
Guys,
okay.
it's time.
It's time.
It's time. We're in fuck it mode.
Yeah. Hey, and listen, you're gonna do it.
Yeah, no,
You're gonna do
100%.
it.
Just talking about it before
I'm gonna
coming
get
here.
on the Instagram and I'm gonna say, hey, here's some tracks. Listen to them.
Oh my God.
I'm EvoLuciane. It's spelled a little weird, but it's actually my name. My name is Lucian, and it's EvoLuciane on Instagram, YouTube, and all the other stuff. But Instagram has all my links. And I'm releasing a new single, Butterflies, coming for 11. And I'm excited. Single and the video dropping. This is a little different from some of the other music I released. It's been a little moody R&B. So I wanted to release something upbeat and happy and fun for the summertime and, good vibes. So 4/11, Butterflies will be out. Pre-save link is in my Instagram bio.
There we go.
Nice.
Yes, well, I hope you guys had fun having this conversation about your experience in LA, no matter how long or short it is. Thank you so much for, just giving us all your insights as, your individual, unique insights and how you feel about living in LA and your advice and everything like that. We hope you guys enjoyed listening to this podcast. Be sure to follow us, subscribe, rate, and all that good stuff, and follow these fine folks at their handles. Yeah. So thank you.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you.